All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we have got some red-green Oden action lined up for you today. Okay, so this is a pretty cool leader I've not messed with in quite some time, but we'll talk more about that as we get into today's video. So, and speaking of which, let's hop straight into it. First things first, guys, we're going to check out the deck list, show you guys what we're running, and then after that, we're going to check out 5 games on the sim. And then we'll finish off by me going over the deck list one more time, and I'll tell you guys what I think about it, okay? We're going to be hopping straight into the video today, let's get right into this. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that in the comment section below. Now, one more thing I want to say before we launch into this, guys. Today is Saturday, and we will be doing a stream tonight. Okay, at the time of recording this video, it is Saturday, and we will be doing a stream tonight on YouTube. It'll probably be around 10 p.m. Eastern, okay, 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, something like that. Late night, after-hour stream with the VV Theory. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're probably going to play some, maybe some Valorant or maybe some League of Legends. We'll see what happens, okay? So, be sure not to miss that if you get bored, if you have nothing else to do later tonight. Now, let's hop into this video, guys. We have quite a bit to talk about. This is a leader I have not shown off on the channel in some time, but we're going to talk about that a little bit right now. So, real quick, here is the list we're going to be running today. This is the leader. Let me go ahead and read this, and then we can blast through the list and kind of talk about things. So, first up, it's a 5,000 power red-green 4-life leader from EB01, and this says, according to the rules, your character cards with the type Land of Wano without a counter have plus 1,000 counter. So basically all the cards in this deck, every card in this deck other than You Can Be My Samurai has a 1k counter or better, okay? And then on top of that, if I have down something like Izo, which we'll talk about in a moment, it might even be even better than that, right? You can turn it into a 2k counter potentially. So with that in mind, our Land of Wano cards have 1k counters on them. The character cards do, all of them, no matter what color the card is. And then this leader has a secondary effect. Dawn ×1 when attacking. If you have a cost 5 or greater Land of Wano character in play, this leader gets plus 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. So he will be a 6,000 power leader on your opponent's turn. Very strong. We'll take it every time. Now, let me scooch up. Let's talk about this. So the actual leader itself has not gotten any extra support, not since EB02's release. And of course, at the time you're recording this, guys, that's a little bit confusing because EB02 is not released in the West at the time you're recording this. This is, of course, on the sim, on the Eastern client, where all this has been released. I don't think we get EB02 for another 2 months or so, maybe even 3 months in the West. I'm not exactly sure. But this leader has really not gotten much support at all. And I would say it hasn't gotten any until EB02 comes out, right? We'll talk about this card in a moment. Very powerful card. First up, I do want to talk about Izo because this is also kind of I would say this is the star of the show in this deck because listen to what it does. So first of all, it's 5 cost, right? That is very relevant to what our leader effect does. We need a 5 cost Land of Wano character in play and a Dawn attached to our leader to swing for 7, and it gives us 1k counter on our opponent's turn as well, right? It gives us a 1k, not counter, but 1,000 power for our, while we're on our opponent's turn as well. So we're at a 6,000 power base. That is very relevant. But check this out. What if we're playing this? Okay, if we're going second, that's very easy, right? This is a 5 cost character. We have 1 Dawn left over, right? Well, check this out, guys. This character here has an on-play effect to attach up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. So, in other words, what we can do, potentially, is we can play out this card on 5 Dawn, right? Play this card out on 5 Dawn, and there goes all of our Dawn for the turn, right? Well, not quite, because we can attach a Dawn to our leader, swing in, swing in for 6k, the when attacking effect will happen. We'll go up to 7k attacking, and then we'll be a 6,000 power leader on our opponent's turn. Hopefully that made sense, guys. I felt like that was a little clumsy, but hopefully you'll understand what I'm saying. So this card is actually just incredible, and that's not even all of it, guys. Like, okay, notice at the bottom here, when opponent attacks. So on your opponent's attack, once per turn, you may trash 1 card from your hand, and if your leader has the Land of Wano or Whitebeard Pirates type, give up to one of your opponent's leader or characters minus 2,000 power for this turn. Guys, that is very powerful because now all of a sudden we can trash this card right here like Ryuma or Yamato or Cat Viper or Denjiro or this Yamato or even this event, we can trash this with this character's effect, and now we're going plus 2,000, essentially. I mean, it gives minus 2,000 to a character or leader, right? Let me see. You may trash one card from your hand. If your leader has land of water, Whitebeard Pirates type, give up one of your opponent's leader or characters, minus 2,000 for the turn. So we'll be able to, if we have this card down, we can trash our You Can Be My Samurai, and now we have a plus 2k counter from it. And if we swung that turn for 6 or 7 with the leader from the effect, going from 6 to 7, well, now we're getting out of like a 7,000 power attack with a single 2k counter, which is just absolutely incredible, right? Excuse me, we're getting out of a 7k attack with a 0 counter, like Ryuma or You Can Be My Samurai. We're getting out of a 7,000 power attack by trashing a card with Izo, and being at 6,000 power with our leader with a card with no counter, which is insane. And then some people might be thinking like, yeah, but that's the problem with this card too, though. It's a brick in hand. Well, no, it's not, is it? Read what the leader does again, guys. Pause and read this if it has not set in yet. I can trash any of my Land of Wano characters from my hand to go plus 1,000 for the turn. So in this deck, this is just simply never a dead card. It's either a 5-cost 7k on the board attacking, or on our opponent's turn when they're attacking, it's allowing me to get 2k counters out of my hand for nothing, right? And then in my hand, it's a 1k counter bare minimum. So just an absolutely incredible card. We have to spend a lot of time on this card. The rest will not take as long, but this card is an all-star in the deck. I would argue it is the most important card in the entire deck, guys. I think this card right here is, in my personal opinion. Next up, we have Yamato. This came out in EB01 as well. And by the way, guys, so did this Izo came out in EB01. So did this Yamato. This Yamato here came out in EB02. It's almost like, and same thing with this Hiyori EB01. It's almost like this leader they're only giving support to in the EB sets, which I guess maybe it makes sense because this leader is from EB01. I don't know, guys. Sometimes I wish they would give more support to certain leaders who are not overrepresented in the meta. But at the same time, they only have so much they can do, right? We have to give them some leniency there, right? Same thing with this Otama, right? Oh, no, this one was OP07. Never mind. I'll say it is just this Hiyori here. Okay, now let's check out this Yamato. Again, this one's from EB01. It's a 5-cost, 5,000 power, 2k counter. Okay, seems good already, right? So it's a 5-cost Land of Wano character. So that immediately works with our leader. And watch this, guys. Just like Izo, watch this. Activate main once per turn. Give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. Okay, perfect. We can play this out on curve on a 5 Dawn turn, and then we get this incredible character on the board. Okay, we get this incredible character on the board. It is better as a 2k counter. We would much rather have Izo. It's just strictly better for what we're trying to do. But having access to a 2k counter that is also searchable by cards like the Momonosuke, not by Otama, unfortunately, but that's okay. Notice the deck is mainly green. Otama can only search up green Land of Wano cards, guys. Excuse me. I know, very frustrating, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. But this card, guys, very solid. It does allow us to have like a miniature effect of Izo for the, when it's on the board, getting to activate main every turn. We can activate this main to give one free Rested Dawn card to our leader for the effect, and it's 5 costs, so it activates it as well. Next up is Yamato, but we're actually going to go to Hiyori first. Hiyori is a EB01 card, 4 cost, 0 power, 1k counter, right? Activate main, place this card into your trash, place up to 1 cost 5 or less Land of Wano type character other than Kazuki Hiyori from your hand into play, then draw a card. Guys, this actually allows us to play second and still have a very incredible turn, and I really want to show you guys something, especially when we get to Yamato. So let's just say on turn 1 we go Momonosuke, tap it, draw a card. They attack into it because they're on their 3-Dawn turn. They went first. So that was our 2-Dawn turn, playing out Momonosuke and fixing our hand. Turn 2, we can actually play out the Hiyori, the Kazuki Hiyori, cheating out the Izo, giving us a Dawn to our leader, swinging for 7, and we have a 5-cost 7k on the board, and we draw a card, by the way, with this Hiyori, and we're off to the races, right? Then, after that play there, we now have another incredible play here with this new Yamato from EB02. It is a 6-cost, 7,000 power character, and watch this. Activate main once per turn if your leader has the Land of Wano type or is Port Ace. Give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader, and then this character gains Rush during this turn. So now we actually do have like the ideal dream curve where it's like turn 1 Momonosuke, turn 2 Hiyori into Izo, turn 3 Yamato, and we're giving a Dawn to our leader the whole time all the way through. So we're swinging for 7s each turn with the leader, and we're swinging for 7s with our Izo and with our Yamato. It is just such an incredible little curve that we can go on now with the Hiyori. And it also gives us, you know, I think it actually kind of makes us want to go second now. So we get the extra draw card effect, and it opens up possibilities for this card on the screen here in Kinemon. We are running 2 Kinemon in this list. We only have like 8 targets that are really relevant. Notice what this does, guys. On play, this Kinemon here is all the way back in OP01. It's a 6-cost 6K with on play, if your leader is Kazuki Oden, play up to 1 9 red scabbards type card with a cost of 3 or less from your hand. Okay, so we actually only have Cat Viper and Raizo, but they're not terrible. These are not bad. They're pretty good, actually. Especially Raizo, if he starts attacking when you have 2 or more rested characters, you're going to start drawing cards. This is actually very good. And then, of course, you can stand it up with Kinemon potentially if you want to save it. Same thing with the Cat Viper. These are just nice cards here to have with Kinemon to cheat them out and help flood the board a little better and have a little more power on our going second curve. Next up is Denjiro. This card, pause and read it. This is just an incredible card. You're going to see a lot of action from this card in today's video. This card is a beast, guys. I shouldn't say a lot of action. I think it comes up in 1 or 2 games. But this card is an absolute stud. It is an absolute beast. The way you're swinging in for basically 8, you're going to attach a Dawn to it and swing for 8 and stand up 2 Dawn. That is really, really powerful for what we're trying to do, guys. It's basically Cavendish for this deck. It's not the same, but it's essentially Cavendish for this deck. Okay. Raizo, we talked about a little bit. Cat Viper's just a 3-cost 4K blocker. And guys, it even has a 1K counter in this deck because of our leader's effect. Yamato, this is a 4-cost 6K that can rest down to 6 or less. Ryuma is a on-play and KO that pops a rested 4 or less. Otam's a 2K counter searcher. And then we have You Can Be My Samurai. Okay, guys? That's the entire list. Not much more to talk about there. Let's go ahead and see how it plays out, and then we'll talk about the end if we need to make any kind of cards, adjust any cards, because there are some other Land of Wano cards, guys, that we definitely should consider. 5-cost Yamato, 8-cost Kazuki Oden. There are some cards we need to consider, even the 3-cost Okiku. Okay, so let's check out some games on the sim real quick, and then you guys tell me what y'all think. Of course, as always, guys, I want to know what you guys think about these games. Okay. All right, here we go. First game up we have against Rosinante. Volume is off. Speed is now on 2x, and here we go. So, not the best starting hand, but we are, you know, if we're going second, it's not terrible, and we are going second. Very nice. So, we're going to get to go, you know, we're going to go turn 1 pass. That's unfortunate. Rosinante is going to play out the 2-cost searcher there. It looks like they whiffed. So guess what? We are, of course, going to play out the Ezo. I'm going to swing for 7 into the tapped character. Rosinante has blocker, so he was able to block. The leader has blocker to block for their characters, guys. Very powerful. Okay, they play out another Rosinante. They use the Rosinante's effect there to play out another 2-cost blocker Rosinante. They play out another searcher to get out the Sugar. Sugar cannot hit my 5-cost character. It can only hit a 4-cost or lower character. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. We're going to go 7 into 0 here. And let's see what they choose to do. They could block this. They could let it go and save it with Rosinante. They're going to block and take the hit here. That's a big hit to take. We're going to play out the Yamato here. They are going to rest it down with the Sugar. We're going to swing 7 more into it. Let's see what he does here. He is going to 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 to get out of that, guys. And we're going to pause and we're going to talk about it. There is no world in which that was the right play, at least not in my personal opinion. Because, guys, understand what he could have done there. He could have just let Sugar go and then saved it with Rosinante. Okay? Because, guys, Rosinante, the way that it's worded is it can save characters from KO. We're just going to pause in the middle of this game and we're going to look at it, guys, because it's that important. We have to look at what Rosinante does. And look at this, guys. If one of your other rested characters would be KO'd. That could be by an effect. That could be by battle. You may instead trash this character. So that is something, I know my face is in the way of it, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not going to move my face around because it takes too long. But like, just understand, you could still read the text. It was right under my camera. That Rosinante could have saved the Sugar, no problem, just by literally letting it get KO'd. And then they could have saved 6 cards in hand or whatever it was. 2, 4, 6, I think it was 5 cards in hand. So they're going to cheat out the, they're going to do a bunch of searching here with the Rosinantes, putting some cards on the board. Okay, sure. I don't really see what's going on here. Maybe they're trying to flood the board to such an extent that I just can't deal with it. I don't know. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. There is no way we're going to allow them to get rid of this card. We're going to 2K counter out, it looks like. Maybe just trash the Ezo. I like that better, actually. Trashing the Ezo I like a lot better. I don't want to trash the Cat Viper there because we're going to be able to cheat that out next turn with Kinemon if we need to. And so my opponent does just leave here. Don't worry, guys. This one, I forgot they left so early. What was going to happen next? We're just going to gobble up this entire board, right? Like, this entire board's going bye-bye. We'll just swing into the sugar, swing into this thing, swing into this thing. We're just swinging everywhere, right? They'll be able to save one of them with their block from the leaders, save one with the Rosinante, but our board's just becoming massive. Now, they do go to 9 Dawn next turn, and they can play out their Shanks, but this turn, we were going to play out the Kinemon and the Cat Viper, okay? So we were actually going to go very big on the board, and they were only going to be able to KO one of my characters with that Shanks, and that's it. Because anything else they try to swing in with, well, they wouldn't have any Dawn. They wouldn't even be able to do it, right? They don't even have enough Dawn left. They'd be on 9 exactly, and we would just counter out of whatever attack they would have tried to do anyway. Good game to my opponent there. Very fun one. Rosinante could be interesting. Seeing all that in action there. I might have to revisit Rosinante very soon. Messing around with maybe even Imperial Ivankov. Okay, next game, guys. So that was against, what was that? Green-Blue Rosinante. Yep. And the next one, we have another Green-Blue deck. We got one versus Zonji this time. Green-Blue Zonji. Volume's off. Speed's on 2x. Here we go, guys. We're going to start off going first this time. Not ideal, but also not terrible for this deck. It's really not terrible for this deck. So we are going to play out the Raizo on curve here. That's not too bad. I think searching and searching again with Otama would have also been kind of decent. But, you know, again, I think that was just a preference thing. Having down this card right here is going to be pretty good for next turn, potentially. All right. They're going to play out Nefeltari Vivi and draw some cards. That card is incredible. Guys, that Nefeltari Vivi, I believe that's also from EB02, is absolutely incredible for Green-Blue Zonji. And here we go. We're going to attack in. They did counter out for 1K. We swung in for 5. They counter out for 1. They're going to play out a Mihawk, cheating out a Weevil, pulling back the Nefeltari Vivi, standing up the Weevil, and now that's not bad, guys. We're going to play out a Yamato, but watch this, guys. We are going to probably swing 7 and 8 here. Let's see what we do. Yeah, I think we should swing 7 first with our leader. I think we should swing 7 again with our Yamato. It looks like I'm going to swing with this first for whatever reason. Maybe just in case they have a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. We'll swing in for 5 here. We're drawing cards too. And now we're going to do a search here and grab a card from the top of our top 5 card of our deck. And they're going to go ahead and pass on this one as well. So real quick, guys, I want to say this. This game is practically over. I'm not going to lie to you. Guys, they will only be on 8 Dawn next turn. So, yes, they could have tried to go for lethal, but, guys, look at my hand. I have 2K, and we were just doing a search on the top there. Understand, they're not getting a single character off the board this next turn. Look at their hand. They are completely bricked. They have a single 1K counter in their hand. A single 1K counter. So, next turn, they're just gone. They can pull back this Mihawk, right? But get this. They're at 1 life, right? Okay, what if they play out Hody Jones and get really aggressive? Okay, they can have my Raizo. The Raizo's not going to matter, right? The Raizo I don't care about. I'm going to let them have that one. But get this. Well, I don't know, actually. If they swung into it for 4 with this Mihawk, I probably would 1K counter out just to force them to attack into it again with something else. And then they can swing all the rest out. But I'm going to be able to save both my characters, and they can't do any kind of special shenanigans here. I guess they could swing twice with the Weevil for 5. But guys, I'm at 6,000 power. So after my my Raizo's gone, what now? So actually, the more I think about it, guys, I probably would let the Raizo go if they swing 4 into it, because I'm a 6,000 power leader. They have to start heavily investing, and I've got 2K, and then 3 1Ks in hand. Because remember how the leader effect works, you can get 1Ks. Okay, those first 2 were short ones. I know people are probably going to be annoyed about that. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. It does happen. This next one's a little bit better, though. The next 3 are going to be a little bit better, I promise. I promise, guys, or I hope so. We'll see what happens. Guys, I record so many games, sometimes I don't remember how they go. But I will say this. Did y'all see that board last turn, guys? It was not looking good for my opponent. We're going to start off going second this time. They're going to go first. We're going second. We do a search from Momonosuke. We search up a card we need. They're going to play out an ulti here. They should swing 2 into 0 with the queen. Okay, so they chose to keep their board wide. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but at the same time, hey, if that's what they want to do, by all means, you could have swung 5 into my face, and I would have taken that probably, and you'd have got me down to 3 life. We play out a Denjiro. We do play out a Denjiro here. I'm trying to do a pretty aggressive turn next here. We'll see what happens. I think I actually got that draw. We're going to go back real quick, guys. Yeah, we probably should have played out the Izo, but that does allow for us to have a much more explosive turn next turn. Okay, so they're going to play out Black Maria. They're going to swing in for 5. We're going to take it. I typically will take the first hit when I can. Okay, the second one in this case, no, we'll give him a 1K counter. Maybe give him the Ryuma here. No, we give the Cat Viper. I think Ryuma was a better call because Purple Black King tends to go very tall. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set some things up here. Let's see what we choose to do. We're going to use the Ezo here. We'll give Arrested Dawn to the Denjiro. It didn't really matter what way we did. Actually, it did matter. Excuse me. Hang on. It did matter in this situation because look what we drew, guys. So we give the Arrested Dawn from the Ezo on play effect to the Denjiro. It stands up 2 Dawn. We'll play out another Hiyori here. We'll cheat out another Ezo, giving the Dawn to this guy this time. And guys, I'm going to be honest, at this point right here, I don't know what they're going to do. If they get to 10 Dawn here, no, they're only at 9 Dawn. If they were at 10 Dawn, they could have punished me pretty badly there with a 10 cost Kaido. But they're on 9 Dawn, guys. Next turn, it might just be game over or they're at 0 life or something, right? Like, what are they going to do? Okay, let's see. Let's see what they're going to do. They have 4 Dawn left. They played out a Queen to do a draw 2 trash when they're going to play out a Pudding. They're going to Dawn -2 the leader effect to draw a card. That's going to get a Dawn back rested with Pudding. And they're going to swing in for 5, but well, no, I guess there's no point. I'm a 6,000 power leader. Sure, I'm going to cancel both effects here and take it because I'm at 6. And here we go. Guys, this is just brutal. We're going to attach a Dawn there, We'll swing in for 8 to get the Dawn back, and I think we're just going to go in for a lot of different hits here. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, or it was 4 7s and an 8. I don't know what my opponent's supposed to do here, but I think the answer has something to do with there's just nothing they can do. So, yeah, the game's over. They could have gotten out of that, in all fairness, guys. They could have gone 1K, 1K, 2K to get out of that 8K attack. At what cost, though? They just gave up all their blockers for next turn to do that. They cannot go for lethal. I'm at 6,000 power. They physically can't even go for lethal, guys. Like, I mean, I guess they could go swing 6 3 times or maybe 4 times. Hang on, they'll be at 10 Dawn, right? So now, even if they have the 10 cost Kaido that pops the board, I don't care. I'll swing 15 at face next turn. It's over, right? But even in this situation right here, okay, if they put 2 on Pudding to swing for 6, 1 on their leader, then they have to put 3 on the ulti, and then they could put 4 on Black Maria. So they could just barely swing 6 4 times, but I've got really bad news. Not even one of those attacks would have gone through. I could have let one go through, sure, but I could have gotten out of all 4 of them, and I have 3 life. I have 3 life, and all 4 of them would not have gone through if I wanted. Good game to my opponent there. That one was much better than the first 2 games, at least in my opinion. Don't worry, we got a meta match in here too versus Purple Luffy. Of course, I had to have, a few, I try to always have a few meta matches in these games with the rogue leaders, but I'm going to be honest with you guys while we're waiting for, so I'm going second, by the way. We're going to do a double Otama search to start this game off. Very nice. And we're going to be able to cash in on you can be my samurai on the next turn. But guys, I try to always include, a meta match or 2, even with the off-meta decks. But let me be honest with you guys, it is not easy. Okay, trying to win with these decks is nearly impossible sometimes. And against the meta stuff. There's a reason it's considered off meta. So just trying to be realistic. I know people don't like to hear that, but it's just the honest truth, guys. It's just the honest truth. We're going to play out a Denjiro and draw a card. And now maybe next turn we'll do the You Can Be My Samurai. Can also just slam down the Kinemon if we get a 9 Scabbards character. They're going to swing in for 7 there. We're going to take that one. We did counter out aggressively first turn or second turn, last turn. I usually take that first hit, but not, I mean, I shouldn't say I usually do, but a lot of times I do, especially when just playing random decks, so I can get more cards in hand to see what all I can pull off. They're going to swing in for 5, and then they're going to play out a Eustace Captain Kidd. And that's a good thing to do, guys. Practice limit breaking. Like, that is definitely a good idea to do. So we're going to do a draw 2 card here. Nice. We got a Raizo now. We can play out maybe next turn. We are going to tap down that guy. We need to get... We're going to swing 8 into 6 and stand 2 Dawn as active. And they're going to save the card, guys. They're going to save it. So now I kind of feel like I have to swing 8 into it. It's that or the Bon Carré, and I'm not swinging into that Bon Carré right now, guys. We're going to swing 8 into the blocker and say, hey, it's your turn. You want to go for... Do you want to swing at my board or do you want to swing at my life? That's the question. And I think the answer is to swing for the board. They're going to go, they're going to go 9 into face. I'm going to take it. They're going to swing 9 more into face. We're going to take that too. I'm basically tempting him to swing into my face here. Like, hey, go ahead and load everything up on your leader and swing at face. Because I already see you want to do that. I already see that's what you're trying to do. You're down to 3 cards in hand. You're going to swing in here. Well, no, I'm going to try to, actually, I might, yeah. Guys, we're about to aggressively, and I mean aggressively counter out of this, I think. Yeah, 1K. 1K, 1K. Yep. Six cards, guys. I had to get out of this with 6 cards because I used all those Otamas early on to counter out of what I had. And guys, I'm running 12 2K counters in the deck. 4 Otama, 4 of the other Otama, and 4 of the Yamato. Or maybe it's 10. Maybe I'm running 2 Yamato. I can't remember. We'll go 1 into 1. Does he want to save this? Because that was a 1 Dawn investment for 1 card. We'll take it. Okay, it's gone. All right, now we'll swing this into that. Okay, and now I can clean up this last card right here with my leader. Or I could just pop it with a Ryuma. Yep, and now we're going to use You Can Be My Samurai to draw 2 cards. And now we'll swing in for 8 at face. And now we're a 6,000 power leader. We pretty much can't lose now that we got that 2K counter because we're a 6,000 power leader and we got 4,000 counter in hand, right? We have a 2K and double 1K because of the leader effect and we have 1 life. So we should be completely fine. We can get out of a 9K attack very comfortably. They're going to go 5 into 0. Sure, that's fine. They're going to play out the Luffy and uh-oh. Where's he going to go with this, guys? Where's he going to go? He does very wisely go into a 6,000 power body because if he went into that 7, I would have absolutely saved it with all 4K in my hand. Okay, they are going to, they drew a card. Pause. So, guys, did you see what happened there? Very good play by my opponent. So, watch this. They only have 9 Dawn on the field right now, and they're completely tapped out. So, they're going to take their own life card here to get a Dawn to be able to use a Gum Gum Giant. That was the entire idea there. Okay, well, now we're going to play out a Yamato. I think we have to go for lethal no matter what. I don't think we really have a choice. So here we go. I think we should swing for some big numbers here. I think I messed this up a little bit. Yeah, swing for 7 first. That should get a 2K 1K or triple 1K out of hand. 2K 1K, very nice. We'll swing in for 7 more. And now I think we're going to go swing for 9, swing for 9. So they're going to Gum Gum Giant, trashing that card, drawing 2. Okay. And now we're going to swing for 9 right here. Standing 2 Dawn is active. And we're going to come in for 10. Excuse me. We're going to come in for 10. They were only able to get to 8. Good game to my opponent. It happens. You know, that was a very tough one there. That Rush Yamato, guys, not only is it a 6-cost 7K rusher, it gives my leader 1 Dawn. So, I mean, I would have only been able to swing for 9K that turn. I could have potentially lost without that extra 1K. But in this case, it didn't matter as much. Because I think I was 2K over what they had. Okay, we got one more game, guys. This one's another little bit off-meta list here, but it's a pretty fun one versus Purple Yellow Croc. And I think this is a game where I really high roll. Or at least it feels like I do, but maybe that's what this deck does. Maybe it just feels like it high rolls quite a bit. But don't worry, we're going to talk about the deck that absolutely demolishes this leader afterwards, guys. I'll give you a hint. It's black. It's a black deck. The black decks in this game are very strong into green decks. It's pretty much always been that way, and it's very tough. Okay, they have no turn 2 play. They had no turn 1 play, no turn 2 play, so I know their hand is completely to the roof, like in the ceiling in cost. So we're about to just draw like absolute mad lads here, guys. Completely crazy. Swing for 4 just to draw a card because he does count himself as a rested character. We're going to play out a Hiyori, cheating out the Denjiro. I wish I had the 5-cost Izo, but Denjiro's really not that bad either. They're going to go 5 into 0. You can have it. They have, okay, they're going to play out a Magellan. Very nice. And let's see what happens here. So, guys, remember, this is Purple Yellow Croc. Pause. What should I be looking out for when he has 1 Dawn active? Pop quiz. Okay, class is in session, guys. Pop quiz. What should I be looking out for when he has 1 Dawn active? Oh, come my way. That's right, guys. I think that came from EB01 as well. We're having all kinds of EB01 fun today, right? And that card will make me attack into another target. Okay, he can change the target of the attack into one of his characters. So, with that in mind, he has a Magellan on the board. I need to make sure I place something out first in case he makes me swing into his Magellan, and then the 2 Dawn that I lose are Dawn that I already used. Does that make sense? Okay, here we go. Watch this. Let's go ahead and play out the Hiyori here, or the Yamato. I like the Yamato as well, I'm not going to lie. But I think the Hiyori is a better call here, because we do have a card we can cheat out with it. We don't have the best card to cheat out with it, but we do have a card we can cheat out with it. We can also swing first with Raizo. Let's see what he does here. Just swing for 5, just a quick little poke. Okay, we're going to do this. I needed to keep the Dawn active just in case he had some way to get rid of my card that I'm not thinking of. Better safe than sorry. We do trash the 2. We knew that was coming. Now we're swinging for 5 to draw a card. Absolutely beautiful, guys. We were able to get that. But now we need Rested Dawn. Hang on, guys. Don't just play out the Izo. We need Rested Dawn in order to give a Dawn to our leader, right? Okay, so right here, we're going to play that out. Use this. Let me see something real quick. You may attach up to 1 Rested Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. Yeah, so the on play, guys, it's probably hard for you guys to see, but I can see it very closely. It does have to be a rested Dawn card. There we go. Now we can use the Momonosuke. We're going to go ahead and grab a 2K counter. Guys, look at my hand. Look at my hand. Look at my board. I'm just curious. What is my opponent supposed to do in this situation? And I know this is Purple Yellow Croc. I get it. But, guys, this is a rough spot to be in. We're going to let the 0 cost go. He's got 5 Dawn left. Another Magellan, guys. He plays out another Magellan. But is he even going to survive this turn? Now, we are down to 5 Dawn, which is pretty crazy. He was able to knock us down 3 Dawn altogether by 1 Magellan effect, second Magellan effect, and the on KO of the first Magellan. We lost 4 Dawn this game. We're going to swing in with the Denjiro. They're going to 0 cost 3K and a 1K to get out of it. We're going to swing in for 5 to draw a card. Our hand's just becoming absurd. Yeah, they just give up, guys. They don't have the counter in hand. We're going to swing in for 7. And then if they somehow got out of that, guys, if they somehow got out of that attack, you know what we're going to do? We're going to trash the Hiyori to draw a card into a Raizo, but we have to play out a character first. We can literally just play down the 3 cost Cat Viper. Okay? So that was it for the games today. That was a lot of fun. This deck is a very, very fun deck to play. But I'm going to tell you right now that it is not doing well into the meta decks. I was able to beat Purple Luffy in a game where I think... Did I go first that game? I'm trying to remember. I might have even gone second. We'll even look real quick, guys. Let me see something. Purple Luffy. Yeah, it's this one right here. Did we go first or second is all I'm looking for. So we went second. We even went second and we were able to pull one away from Purple Luffy. But remember, guys, Purple Luffy does not really have removal. Any deck that has any form of removal, guys, if they have just even a little tiny bit of removal, it is going to hurt us bad. It's going to hurt us bad. But I will say this, against anything else and anything non-meta, I do think this is one of those leaders that's a non-meta deck that can kind of just bully all the other non-meta decks. But as soon as you get into the range of what we consider meta, like A tier and above, this deck starts falling off quite a bit. I think it can pull wins against something like Purple Luffy. Blue Dofi is probably not unwinnable, but it might be. I didn't even get to try that matchup. I even tried to queue into a Blue Dofi, and they just left immediately. They didn't want to waste their time playing against a non-meta deck, which happens, guys. That does happen. But let me say this. Red-Green Oden is a lot of fun. The leader's a lot of fun, but it struggles immensely into black. I tried to get a game in against black to be able to beat it, and I think I lost every game. I think I tried like 3 or 4 games against Lucci, and they pummeled me every time. I did not get to play against Blackbeard, though. That was a leader that I did not see when I was doing my testing. So Blackbeard would have been very interesting to try. And I bet we're not too bad against it. But we do have quite a few on plays that are unfortunately going to be just... I mean, it's still a 5 cost 7K at the end of the day, right? So actually, hang on, guys. The more I'm thinking about this, this still has a win opponent's attack. It has an on play. We'll lose that. But on opponent's attack, activate main. Activate main. We will lose the 2K counter, but it's still a 2K counter. Hiyori is activate main. Kinemon will lose his on and play, but keeps his win attacking. Of course, Momonosuke is win attacking. Denjiro's win attacking. Raizo's win attacking. Cat Viper's just a blocker. We will lose the Yamato and the Ryuma. His on KO will still work. And then Otama will just keep us a 2K counter, and then we still have access to You Can Be My Samurai. So I would not be surprised, guys, and 5 cost is a little bit annoying for our opponent, for the Blackbeard matchup, because they can typically hit, well, no, they can usually hit whatever they want to. That's anything probably 6 and under, because I'm not even talking about Shigan Finger Pistol. That just hits whatever it wants to. But even the idea of, like, how do I say this? If they have like a Laboon, they can pretty much hit what they want to, right? But at the same time, who knows? At the same time, in EB02, I think they do drop the Laboon for the new 5 cost Kuzan. I think I heard someone saying that. Is that true, guys? I haven't really looked into it. We'll have to see what happens. But whatever the case is, guys, here's the list. Pretty quick video by today's standards. I do want to say a few more things before we log off for the night or finish the video. When it comes to the Wano stuff, let me there we go. I'm struggling. There we go. There are some other options we should probably try to consider. It's unfortunately it's weird that this Izo cannot also search up Land of Wano, but whatever. It's a Land of Wano card and Whitebeard Pirates, but it can only search up Whitebeard Pirates. Oh, well, I'm sure it has something to do with balance. That's what they tell me, at least, right? Whenever I ask people, they're like, oh, it has to do with balance or lore reasons or something. But hear me out, guys. I do think that we have a pretty decent... okay. How do I say this? I know a lot of people love this card. A lot of people actually love this Yamato card, and they think it's so good. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I just don't think it is. I'm sorry, I just don't think the card is good enough. Because think about it like this. Like, oh, but this one has a 1K counter. Denjiro and Izo don't. Yeah, not really though, right, guys? In this deck, all of my cards have 1K counters. All of them. In this version of the deck, all of them have a 1K counter, except you can be my Samurai. That's it. But you can be my Samurai. I can trash if Izo's on the board to give me a 2K counter. So the fact that this card has a 1K counter is actually not even a bonus to this deck. And yes, it has double attack and banish, right? It doesn't matter that the card is also treated as Kazuki Oden because our leader's Kazuki Oden. But hear me out. The double attack and banish is not very good if I have a 5K attack. Yes, you can buff it with Dawn. I know. I get it, right? I didn't start playing the game yesterday. But guys, I understand you can buff this character, but the fact that it's a 5K body also makes it easier to get rid of for, I don't know, Burgess. 7 cost Burgess gets rid of this. What about the other one, the 7 cost Newgate gets rid of this. And also, Lucky Roo gets rid of this. That's probably the more important factor there is even Lucky Roo can get rid of this card. Well, these cards cannot be taken out by Lucky Roo. Right, guys? Like these 7Ks. Because remember, for those who are not aware, let me go to Lucky. This goes off their base power. So you might be thinking like, well, no, they can even get it if they minus the power of it, like with their leader and then pop it. No, this goes off a base power of 6,000 or less. So I can't even buff my 5,000 power Yamato we were just looking at. Let me get back to the Wano stuff. Like I cannot even buff, where is it? This card to like 7,000 to get around Lucky Roo's on KO effect. So I just don't think this card's good enough. And I know we're just talking about Redwood Shanks there, but even in terms of like other cards like the black cards out there, like like any kind of removal in black, I'm just gonna be honest, you're probably just gonna lose that matchup anyway. I'm sorry, it is what it is, guys. It's just one of those. I'm not trying to be negative. And hey, if you beat it, if you find a way to beat black consistently with this deck, please report back to us, guys. Tell us what we're missing so we can win as well. We all want to win with a deck like this, right? We all want to start winning. But black is proving to be the absolute. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. It is a full-on counter. We're talking, if you get a 5% win rate against black with this deck, you're probably pretty happy with that. And I don't know, guys, again, if you know, is there a certain way to play this that I'm missing out on? Maybe it needs more rush cards. Maybe it needs cards that have more protection or something. Like maybe, I'm trying to think, like maybe we need to add Tashigi to the list, the three cost, the new Tashigi from EB0, or from OP10. Where is it? This card? This is a new card from OP10. It's not Land of Wano searchable, but who cares? It is a nice 2K counter, 3 cost 4K, and it has this effect to protect your green characters. Maybe we need to try this out. Maybe we need to try out the 2 cost Rosinante. Are you guys having any success with this? Again, I'm talking about against decks that are running black, okay? So like maybe the new Rosinante. Yeah, I don't know. But guys, I have to say, this card right here, this Cat Viper was really nice. I do want to mention that real quick. It is a card we can cheat out as well with this on-play effect because it is a, 9 red Scabbards or whatever it's going for Raizo and Cat Viper. We can cheat these out. And even this Hiyori can cheat it out because it can cheat out a cost 5 or lower Land of Wano type card. So we can even, and this, of course, this is Land of Wano, so we can throw the card straight into play. This card was great, but that's the thing, right? You see all these cards that are really good, and even cards that can help us spread the board a little bit with like Kinemon. Any deck that's running like high removal, it's going to get every one of our cards. And I'll say that against Dofi, I don't think this matchup will be great if they're running the Gravity Blade Raging Tigers. If they're running enough of those, like 2 of those, if they actually see them, I should say. Most decks are running those, right? Most blue Dofi decks are running Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, right? Or am I a little behind on the meta? Excuse me, because I do fall behind sometimes. Like I'll follow a deck for a while, then hop over to another one, try a bunch of different stuff out. But I think most of them are still running Gravity Blade Raging Tiger because it shores up the mirror match so well, right? And if they start swapping over to Jozu, which I highly recommend, guys, if you're playing Blue Dofi going into EB02, OP10 EB02 meta, I do highly recommend messing around with Jozu again. I think it's really, really good, and it's really not too bad into the mirror match. Jozu is just an absolute beast. Talking about the 6 cost blue Jozu that bounces a card back to hand. It also helps you get around all these 5 cost targets that we're talking about right now. So speaking of 5 cost targets, there is some idea here to maybe try out the new Smoker in this deck. It's just a high quality card, guys. It's just an insanely good card. The problem is this does not have a counter per the rules, per this leader effect. It has to be a Land of Wano character card. So we can't actually use this card to trash to get a 1K counter. And we also can't search it up with our Otamas or anything like that, or our Momonosuke's. but it's still just that good of a card, guys. It's so good of a card, I would actually run this over the 5-cost 5k double attack banish Yamato that we were just talking about earlier. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is, right? But yeah, so that's that. Maybe we do need to incorporate a little more rush cards into the deck. Let me type in rush real quick. This is an Akazaya 9 card, but they decided not to give it Land of Wano. Why? Why, guys? Does this have to do with lore somewhere? Maybe wherever this picture's taken, he wasn't in the Land of Wano at the time. Yeah, whatever, man. I wish I could search this card up because this would definitely go in the deck, guys. This is a 5-cost 6k, 1k counter that has an on-play if your opponent has 7 or more cards. This gains rush. 7 or more rested cards, excuse me. This card gains rush. This could be very good. Oden Jones is just good, period. This is definitely something we need to consider including. I think it's just a great card. Maybe one Goldie Roger as just a way to finish off your opponent. And hey, who knows? Maybe this is the card we have to add to the deck in order to help our matchup against black. We're like, okay, we knock him down, you know, to 1 life or to 0 life, right? Getting super aggressive with him, just keep attacking. And then who knows? Maybe we get him down to 0 life, and once we get a 10 Dawn, maybe we slam down Goldie Roger, and then we can finally get that last attack through, hopefully. I don't know. We'll have to see. There could be some potential there. This Shanks as well. There could be something to this. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it, to be honest, but I think there could be something there. Dragon. So I will say this. The rush cards that really pique my interest the most would be like this Luffy. Hang on a second. I didn't consider this card. Oh, never mind. 6,000 base power less, so we can't play out any of our red 6,000 base power cards, like as there are none. I guess other than this 2k counter, but we want to keep the 2k counter more often than not. But so this Luffy, this Oden Jones, this Luffy, the unblockable Luffy, and the Monkey D. Dragon, I think these are probably going to be very solid additions to the deck, at least potentially. Especially the Dragon. Dragon, I think I even saw a video in the West, or excuse me, in the East that was messing around with this, guys, where it's like, okay, imagine the curve I said earlier. Turn 2, or turn 1, going second, guys, going second. Turn 1, Momonosuke. Turn 2, Hiyori cheating out like the Izo or the Denjiro. Either one's fine, to be honest, but I prefer the Izo. And then turn 3, Yamato. We're going in for 7, 7, 7 with everything, right? And then last but not least, turn 4, we can slam down a Monkey D. Dragon. Maybe there's something to that, guys. Maybe we get away from the 9 red scabbards idea, trash the Kinemon, trash the Raizo, go up maybe 2 Goldie Rogers and a Dragon and 4 dragons. Something. There might be something there, guys. There could be something there. But yeah. Kid Killer's always decent as well. That's always at least a consideration for sure. And then events as well. I do want to look at some more events, guys. I do think Red is finally getting some pretty decent events where we maybe want to start messing with it. So there's always the idea of going Red Hawk in this deck, guys, because if you slam down an Izo, you're giving minus 2,000 to one of their characters. Potentially like a character or a leader, but you can give it to minus 2,000 to a character, and then you can potentially gum Red Hawk a 6k at that point, right? So that's really not bad. That's actually pretty good. But other than that, yeah, you know, we have the Gum Red Hawk. Radical Beam is just always a quality, 1 cost 4k, and I think you should try to take life semi-aggressively in this list so you can go down low enough to, you know, start getting some card advantage and wait till you're up to 6,000 power leader. What else? This new Kamakura Jutsushi, guys, this card's insane. It's a 2 cost 5k counter is what it is, because you give plus 3,000 to your leader for the battle and minus 2,000 to one of your opponent's characters or leaders for the turn. So you could literally go plus 5,000 for one battle, or you can go plus 3,000 power for a battle and then minus 2,000 to one of their other characters or leaders. And now you're getting through 2 attacks. This card is absolutely incredible, and it should at least be considered for what we're doing. What else? We also have Divine Departure. There is some idea here. It's none of this stuff I'm saying is searchable, by the way, guys, but they're still very good tech cards. I really like Divine Departure, and then I also like the idea of having some type of power reduction in case we go against a green deck that has, you know, they drop down the 8 cost Eustace Kid. Yes, this deck does swing very tall. And yes, we do have access to Otama, so we can actually get to 8 and drop them down to 6, right, pretty easily. Like we can start swinging 8s across the board with like Odins, Izos, and Denjiros, and the Yamatos, and then drop them down to 6, where it's like, okay, that's probably going to let us get through. Maybe even rest down a blocker or something with Yamato. I don't know, but if it's Rosinante, it doesn't even matter. But hear me out, guys. I think we do have some idea here to try maybe run Divine Departure, maybe run Fire Fist to help lower the cost of stuff. There's a lot of options here. The zero cost 3Ks will always have a spot for me, guys. I think they're always quality. We might not have room for it in the deck, but it's still a very, very good card. Though I will say in this deck, all of your cards count as counters. That was weird to say. Other than this, you can be my Samurai card. So maybe we don't have to run the zero cost in a deck like this. Guard Point's just a pretty reliable card as well. It's like in between Rad Beam, where it's like, okay, sometimes it's better than Rad Beam, and sometimes it's worse than Rad Beam, so it comes down to how you play. UFO. Okay, this is another one to consider. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 4,000 power until the end of the turn. Then if you have 2 or less life, give your leader or up to one of your characters plus 1,000 power until the end of this turn. So this ends up being a 2-cost activate main. This is not a counter, guys. This is an activate main to give minus 4,000 power to a character, and we can give plus 1,000 one of our characters or leader. This could help us get around very annoying cards like the 8-cost Eustace Kid. And that could push one of our guys to an 8, actually. Yeah, so this is actually a very good card for us, guys. What ends up happening is instead of having to swing 7 into 8, well, think about it. If we spend 2 Dawn, we can swing 9 into 8. Well, that's not very effective, right? Instead, we can spend 2 Dawn for the card we were just looking at, this Gum Gum UFO, and go, okay, minus 4,000 power to your Eustace Kid. And then if we have 2 or less life cards, we get plus 1,000 power on the character or leader we want to swing with. So in that situation, okay, their Eustace Kid goes from an 8,000 to a 4,000, and our Ezo just went from a 7,000 to an 8,000, and that was for 2 Dawn if we have 2 or less life, right? And we could do that with anyone. We could do that with Denjiro. We can do that with Ezo. We can do it with whoever. In fact, if we swing 8 into it first, think about if we swing 8 into the card first and they block out to save it, then we can attach it on to Denjiro, swing for 8, and then stand up the 2 Dawn we just used with the Gum Gum UFO. So there's definitely some idea here for Gum Gum UFO in the deck. And now I will say this, the trigger's pretty meh. I will say that. It is a 2-cost trigger. It says KO up to one of your opponent's 3,000 power or lower characters. That is not great. It's not terrible, but it's also not great. I would actually just rather have Fire Fist, to be honest with you guys. Like, yes, we do lose 1,000 power in the little situation we just explained, but check this out, guys. This is a 2-cost that says minus 4,000 power to a character for the turn, and then if you have 2 or less life cards, you can pop a 0-power character. So if that's the case, we can actually combo this, you know, if we're at 2 or less life, okay, we pay 2, and now their guy's minus 4,000 for the turn. So the 8,000 goes down to 8,000. Attach the Dawn to Denjiro to swing in for 8. Oh, and by the way, like I was saying, if we're at 2 or less life, we can even pop one of their 0-power characters. I don't know how often that will come up, but it's at least worth mentioning. So there is something there. And then when we swing in for 8 with our Denjiro, we stand up the 2 Dawn we use for the Fire Fist. So there is something to be said there. As far as green cards go, guys, I'm not a huge fan of the green stuff for Kazuki Oden. It's like all the green cards for Kazuki Oden are all the Land of Wano cards, and I guess you can be my Samurai as well, but that's pretty much all the stuff you see here I think is really good, but the red events are something we should really consider, other than you can be my Samurai. Okay, and that's about it. Let's look, like I said, I do want to talk about one more thing we need to consider. It is definitely Kazuki Oden. Rosinante would be good, but he can only play out the green 5-cost characters. So, you know, I don't get that. It's like they give us these dual colored leaders, right? Me and my buddy Mike were talking about this the other day. They give us dual colored leaders, right? And then they lock an effect on a character to only be a certain color. Where it's like, well, wait a minute. What's the point of me playing a dual colored leader if I lose a life in the process? And then the really powerful cards, they don't get their full effect. I can't even like fully, you know, utilize the effect for some of these other cards. You know, same idea with Otama, right? Like, wait a minute, I can only search up green Land of Wano cards? I can only play a green 5-cost card? What's going on here? It's so odd. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. All right, I'm done yapping, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what y'all think. I will say this, too. Maybe Eustace Captain Kidd could find a spot in the deck as well and go up some blockers. We'll have to see what happens. We are already running Cat Viper. Maybe at that point we go up Rosinante. Maybe we trash the Raizo and the 9 Scabbards package and play something more like that. But one more thing I do want to say is that the Okiku, if we do choose to continue with the 9 red Scabbards, I want to see something real quick with Okiku. It's the old one, this one right here. This one's also a 9 red scabbard, so maybe there is some idea to include this in the deck in the future. Maybe it even finds a spot over this Yamato. That's something for you guys to try out at some point, and it's a 3-cost card, and at that point, you know, we can cheat it out with the Kinemon. Okay, now I'm done. Now we're done, guys. We're done yapping. Tell me what y'all thought about this in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, let me go ahead and bring up the outro page here. Guys, if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, or whatever you're doing to help me out, I really appreciate it. In any way you're supporting the channel, I really, really appreciate it. Also, for everyone who supports me through Patreon, PayPal, donations, getting the playmat, YouTube members, Discord community, whatever you're doing, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And one more thing, guys, don't forget, if you get bored tonight, come on and stop by the stream. We're going to be streaming on YouTube probably around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, okay? 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be doing some playing some games. It'll be an off-topic night tonight. It's going to be VV Theory After Hours. We're not going to be doing it exclusively One Piece. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about One Piece too, but we're going to be messing around playing other games and just kind of chat and stuff like that. Okay? All right. I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. I think I forgot to say that earlier in the video. All right, but now we're done. Till next time, guys. Peace.